The World Fair? In fact, when we were first born, our destiny is predetermined. Everyone is born with a red line on their head. The lower the number of lines, the higher the rank, and vice versa. You don't need to work hard, because no matter how hard you try, the result won't change. A newborn baby is treated differently. Nurses carefully hold a baby in a line. Careful care. 3 lines of babies are left to cry. No one came to check on him as he grew up, and he often felt inferior because of his 3 lines. Roy went to the restaurant to eat. He found a seat and sat down, pressed a button on the pipe, and a steak spat out of the pipe. Just as he was about to enjoy it, a man walks up next to him. He looked up and saw that this man had 2 lines on his head. He had no choice but to give up his seat to someone of higher rank than himself. He then had to stand outside the door to finish his lunch. At that moment, another man with 2 lines came up next to him. He was asked to carry his bag, so he nodded his head and did as he was told. He walked to the VIP door. He reached for his bag and took it back when he was able to get rid of him. As soon as he turned around, a ball came flying at him. Another ball falls from the sky. Roy is hit by the ball. He was very angry. Who is this child that is so naughty? Look closely at the 2 lines on his head. It's okay. It's a good hit. He could only be angry but not say anything, because he was the one with the lowest rank of 3 lines. He couldn't understand why fate was so unfair. He felt that all the people with 2 lines were laughing at him. At night, he saw a man in his dream. This person took out an eraser. He erased a line on his forehead. He managed to go from 3 lines to 2. He was very excited. When he woke up, he really had an eraser in his hand, so he had a daring idea. He wiped 1 line off his forehead. This was the first time he smiled. Walking down the road, the lower 3 lines would nod and bow to him too, a sign of deference. He arrives at the VIP room, which is only accessible to line 2. He walked in with great joy, but what he saw before him stunned him. It turned out that both lines had to serve 1 line. Then he had another idea. He sneaked into the corner. He took out an eraser and erased another line from his head. This time, he was promoted to one of the lines. Man came to the VIP room for the first time. There were many people in the room, but on closer inspection it was all 2 lines, serving people again. All the 2 lines were actually maids. Someone feeds the chicken legs, someone to give a massage, and 1 line didn't have to do anything but lie down. So he had an idea. He took out an eraser and wiped another line off his forehead. Then he walked out with a flourish. The 2 lines immediately came to greet him with a smile and invited him to the sofa. Roy sat down contentedly. The 3 lines immediately brought him a drink, and then he gave Roy a massage. If he got tired of sitting, immediately there would be foot cushions. He watched as the man on the floor served him like a slave. He smiled happily once again. Then he thought back to the old days of being laughed at, the days of being bullied. At last he could say goodbye to that life. He smiled again as he thought of this, but the next moment, a pipe suddenly came down from the roof. It sucked out everyone in the room who had a line. The scene shifts. A man with 3 lines comes into the dining room. He presses a button on the pipe. Then a piece of meat falls from the pipe. So this is the fate of a man with 1 line. Do you still envy people with 1 line after watching this? In fact, everyone has a difficult life. Don't blindly envy other people's lives. Cherish the life you have in front of you. Maybe what you have now is what others envy. Stop complaining. Live your life to the fullest.